Hello everybody and welcome back to the Washington Nationals franchise on MLB The Show 23. Today I bring to you the third prospect spotlight that we have done so far here in the franchise, and I've gone 3 episodes without doing a spotlight, and that's for good reason. We have been rolling through the season and getting a bunch of major stuff done before we eventually speed up and end the season. Today we're going to be talking about a prospect though, and that prospect is Brady House. House is a 6'4", 215-pound righty, throws righty, bats righty, drafted 11th overall in 2021 by the Washington Nationals. He plays third base and shortstop, but for us third base would be his main position. His hitting stats are contact righty 47, contact lefty 54, power righty 44, power lefty 52, 47 vision, and his bunt 31. He's got solid fielding, 59 speed, 33 steal, and right now in 32 at bats in AAA he is batting .406, 2 ribbies, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and if I'm not mistaken, before he was having a very successful 2A stint. But we made the move to go get Tyler Whitaker from the Houston Astros, as he was one of the players that I got a chance to really see in depth as I played a game here a little bit earlier off camera, and Whitaker's going to be just fine down there in 2A, but that leaves room for us to make the call up, and Brady House is currently our AAA third baseman, and the door's going to be open for him. Jaime Candelario and Ildemaro Vargas are both guys who are going to be out the door here, with Candelario being 29, Vargas being 31. Both, lower rated for their age and both pretty nice role players, but not people who are going to be long-term for the future. That's why we went out and got Tyler Whitaker, just so we'd have another option. And Whitaker is a guy who can play third, short, and all of the outfield. So I really found some good position flexibility with him. But let's talk about Brady House a little bit and sort of where he lines up into everything. I think his arm is good enough. I think his hitting is definitely going to be getting there. The guy's only 19 years old, 66 overall, and he's a big guy. He's 6'4", 215. He doesn't have outstanding speed, but I think the strongest part of his game is definitely his bat, though. He has home run powers, and I think if I were to comp him right now, it would probably be to Corey Seager, just with the same build that he has. And let's talk a little bit about where we sort of rank him as a prospect. Right now on MLB.com, he is the 5th ranked prospect in the national system behind Wood, Hassel, Green, and Cavalli. And honestly, right now I'd probably put him at 3. I think it goes Elijah Green, James Wood, Brady House, and then say what you want about Robert Hassel. And the 5th guy could be somebody who we very well brought in, but we just don't know right now. I could do a more in-depth look. I could post something on the community tab. But Brady House is a guy who I expect to be in the majors in 1 to 2 seasons. I definitely think he'll get a chance to show. He's not going to be one of our September call-ups this season, but he is in AAA, and he is going to be the everyday third baseman. Shortstop's a possibility too, like I mentioned. He's got that flexibility. But let's go over his scouting grades that MLB.com has, and I think they match up pretty nicely to what's there in game. So his hitting is a 50, his power is a 60. Remember, these are a 20-80 scale. So running is a 50, arm 60, fielding 50, and they have him overall is a 50 overall. Not too much more to be said about him. He's dealt with some injury issues. I don't think that's really reflected too much in the game, and I think I'd have to go in depth to really look at what his injury stuff is, and that's nothing that I can really find right now. So it's not like we're worried about him. We just need him to get more playing time, I guess you could say. Being a 19-year-old, being drafted only a few seasons ago, I need to see him develop. I need to see him fill into his frame, but he's got a chance to be a really good power-to-contact guy and somebody who could be a centerpiece to what we're trying to do in the future. So let me go over to my depth chart. Obviously, you guys are all seeing gameplay, but the 5-year outlook has House being the guy at third base, and you look at sort of who we have around him: C.J. Abrams, Jose Salas, Hassel could move over to first base. Tyler Whitaker, like we mentioned previously, can go out and play outfield. And then we got James Wood, Elijah Green. There's a lot of youth around this team right now, and I think that I have done a successful job in building that. When you look at the guys, like I said earlier, that are around where House is, it's Jaime Candelaria, Jeter Downs as well, and Demaro Vargas. There's a good chance that all three of those guys are probably gone. Obviously, C.J. Abrams, Luis Garcia will both be sticking around, and that's sort of the blueprint that we have for our infield right now. We have guys who can fill those roles and can play right now that we just got to get experienced. Luis Garcia, who was injured earlier this year, but he is finally starting to right the ship, and he's turning into quite the good second baseman. And then you go over the short, it's set. C.J. Abrams is our shortstop of the future. He's batting .281 this season. He's hitting the baseball well. His ratings are getting boosted, and he's going to be our guy. But behind him, you've got to find depth. You've got to find dudes who can play. And I think we are honestly and truly doing that right now with Brady House, with Tyler Whitaker, and just everybody who we are acquiring. The way that he's going to make the MLB is he needs to continue to have a really good season this year, play well next season, and he's a guy who we could very well see making the jump very soon. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. The next episode will be coming shortly, and peace.